Okay, guys, this is a follow-up video. I'm sure most of you have watched the previous video where I was giving a very stern warning to all of us as South Africans. Now, this is a follow-up video. This is another warning again. Maybe this time let me lay down the foundation of this warning. Guys, whether you like it or you don't, we in South Africa, we find ourselves in a big problem. Okay. Now, if you have a problem or you find yourself in the bush or in the dark and you don't know whether you are going forward, you are going backward, sideways, up and down, you are in a pool of confusion. There are certain things that you need to get right. One of the things that you need to get right, first, you need to orientate yourself. Now, which can be very difficult if you don't have the tools. Now, what I'm doing now in this video, I'm trying to lay down the rules of the game. I want to put down the tools and say, guys, these are the tools that we can use to get out of the morass that we are in. Now, I'm going to talk about something that almost all of us know about, but it's very dangerous. And we all know about, but probably we have not taken notice of it, how serious this thing is, how dangerous it is. And the only way to get out of this problem that we're in now, there are certain things that you need to get right. First of all, we need to want to get out of the problem. That's the first thing. It's almost like a person who is an alcoholic or a drug addict. The first thing that you do if you are in trouble, if you are an alcoholic and you realize you cannot cope anymore with this alcoholism of yours or drug addiction, whatever you're addicted to, is to first acknowledge the fact that you are in trouble. I'm sure you have heard of Alcoholic Anonymous. When people go there and then they ask you to introduce yourself, the first thing that you do, you stand up and say, I am so and so, and I'm an alcoholic. That's the first thing. Once you have acknowledged that you are in deep trouble, that's the beginning of things. That's where you start working your way out of that trouble. So, in simple terms, if maybe I were to speak like a motivational speaker, is that the first thing that you need to have a dream that you want to get out of the problem that you are in. That's the first thing. So, we need to develop a dream as individuals, as various communities, as a country. And forget about even thinking about the other parts of the world. The first thing you have got to have a dream yourself and encourage your other people, your friends, your neighbors, to also dream like you. And my dream and your dream should be one, that we want to get out of the trouble. But of course, we need to first acknowledge that we're in trouble. If we don't acknowledge the fact that we're in trouble, then it means we won't even be able to move an inch to get out of the trouble that we're in. So I'm going to demonstrate as we go the depth of the problem that we find ourselves in. Guys, what we're dealing with here, we're dealing with something that is more dangerous than guns, more dangerous than rockets. The machine guns and the rockets, they are nothing to what I'm going to talk about. Even the nuclear weapons that the world is so afraid of, it's nothing. What I'm going to talk about is so insidious, guys. It's so pernicious, you can't believe. We eat it, we sleep it, we walk it, we ess it. You know, we we breathe it. It's circulating in our blood. And the only way out is one. Because this thing is not uh, taught at school. What I'm going to talk about. The remedy is not taught at school. It's not even taught at school how to poison people like who have been poisoned. And this thing is so dangerous, it's worse than a virus. COVID was nothing. What we're dealing with here. So, guys, please buckle up. Now we need to work out a way out together. The only way out here is one. It's a proper self-education. There is no way, there's no school, there's no university that teaches this. But anyway, before guys, I talk about this very important topic of today, I just want to take a few minutes just to thank you for supporting the channel. You guys are great. This channel, in about 14 days, it went straight to become to actually join the YouTube partnership program. So it is a channel now that is registered to monetize, and it was because of you. And I dedicate this channel to you, 100% to you. I want to do the work that I'm doing, to be your voice, or the voice of those people who feel that they want to say something and they can't say it. And we need to work together to get somewhere. We need to first get out of the trouble that we're in. So I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel. We moved quickly within about 14 days to reach the threshold that YouTube needs or requires for us to monetize. And of course, that comes with a lot and lot of benefits. I'm going to be doing a video where I will be breaking down the benefits for you guys. What will be the benefits? Very great benefits. I believe and I know that you will really have fun. You will enjoy this. But I want to thank you. I don't have words to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please keep up the good work. You have done a very good work. Like the channel, keep liking the video, keep commenting. I love the comments. Yes, there were some comments that I thought probably they were not, but I would say 99% of the comments were very positive. You loved the content, and they were encouraging. Even those comments that were negative to me, they were very encouraging, because remember, anything that negative can only build you. Okay, I'm one of those people, and I want to think that you are also one of those people who are never easily discouraged by anything or anybody. Please subscribe, guys. Click that subscribe button right now. Make sure that you subscribe, because this helps a lot. Don't forget to join. We have got now a membership opportunity for people to join and become members, so that you can enjoy your benefits of being members of the channel. There's quite a lot of perks that I've designed, but I'm going to explain them on the video that I'm going to do. Okay, guys. Thinking it's enough. Let's go back to the topic. Guys, what I want us to talk about today, I just want to tease your brain, and I know you know about this. Guys, propaganda is the worst thing that you can ever think of. And the most of us, we hear the word propaganda, but I never knew that it was so serious until a couple of years ago that I realized that this is the worst thing than any weapon that you can think about. So I am going to unpack what I've just said, and please stay put. Guys, propaganda, before we even go to the definition, I just want to quickly show you the magnitude of damage that propaganda has done many years before, from time immemorial, since when it was discovered in 1622 by some clever people in the Roman Catholic Church. And today is still doing the same damage, is still going to cause more damage as we move forward. Guys, if you can think of propaganda this way, you think of a tool that is used by anybody. Anybody uses this tool, as long as the whole idea is to control the people. Now, the reason why we need to understand propaganda, us, especially the people who are in active business and civil society, the reason why we need to understand propaganda, we need to understand it so deep, because Besides the fact that it's affecting us, it has affected many people before us, it's affecting us, it's still going to affect people tomorrow and many people to come. The problem is that, like any other person who wants to change the game, if we're serious, we say we want to change the game. We want to liberate ourselves from the political elite that is sitting on our backs, pushing us down, and we're not rising. We're in this trouble because of the political elite. If we want to come out of this situation, we need to know how the game is played. But the first thing that we need to understand is how propaganda works. But you cannot understand how propaganda works if you don't understand what is propaganda. How does it look like? What are the characteristics of propaganda? How does it work? Who is using it? When do they use it? Okay, well, how much damage can propaganda cause? We know it has killed billions and billions. It has killed people more than any machine gun, more than any nuclear weapon, atomic bombs, more than anything. Propaganda is very, very disastrous. It has killed people more than natural disasters, more than viruses that you can think of. And we don't see any, there's no stop in sight. Now, if, for instance, we want to deal with it, the first thing that we need to do, and this is what we're going to do together now, is to try and look at it in such a way that every time we see propaganda coming, we can identify it. If we can't be able to identify propaganda very well and quickly, then we can deal with it, then we stay strong, and we will be able to execute our mission. Because I can tell you right now, as active business and civil society party, we are going to be attacked. A lot of propaganda is going to be spread about us, around us, and about the people who associate with us. So it's very important to know how to deal with it. But you cannot deal with something that you cannot even identify. As always, guys, maybe let us make it, let me try and make it easy. And first look at the definition. What is it? And I know once you start talking definition, it sounds like I'm becoming academic. No, but at least things should be defined or should at least be explained what they are. There are two definitions that I looked at that I thought I liked, but I liked the Britannica definition. That simple says propaganda is nothing else but the dissemination of information. Sounds easy. Dissemination of information. That information can come in the form of facts, in the form of lies, in the form of truths and half truths, false arguments, and so forth. But there's something striking about that. The whole idea, when that information is disseminated, is actually aiming at nothing else but changing or influencing the public opinion. That's very important. Okay? So you can take home here the idea that it is information that is disseminated to change or influence your opinion on anything that you can think of, from your head to your toe. It can even change the way you taste your beer if you drink beer. I sometimes never believe that somebody can actually change the way I taste something. It can change. Just propaganda. The taste does not change, but by propaganda, someone can change the way you taste beer. Or you taste the sweet if maybe you don't drink beer. Making an example. Okay, right. But there is another definition that I like. And this definition was coined by actually the guy who actually founded a propaganda called Edward Bernays. This is the guy who was born, I think, 1890, 1891, somewhere there. I think he died actually very old. I think he was very old. I think he was 100 and something years in 1995. And his uncle was a psychoanalyst. And most of you who have studied psychology would know that guy. His name is called Sigmund Freud. I know him because I studied human sciences at a medical school. Now, the definition that he came up with was that propaganda is a conscious intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and the opinions of the masses. Now, listen to that. It's conscious, it's intelligent, right? And it's manipulation. Manipulation of what? Of the organized habits and opinions of the masses. So you can see what kind of a tool is this. So basically, what it is looking at, it is looking at, it's not something that happens accidentally. It's planned. It's very conscious. It's planned. It's very intelligent. Somebody who knows what he's doing, who understands how human beings think. And like if you study, for instance, Sigmund Freud, you'll know. I don't want to go into psychology, but you will know that Sigmund Freud will talk about three components that shape a human behavior. We'll talk about it, talk about super ego, and ego. And those are the things that they shape a human being. So if you like, you can go and Google Sigmund Freud and read about Sigmund Freud. Now, this is so dangerous because if you want to deal with a human being, you go for the brain. Because if you go for the brain, then you have conquered everything. Just like you remember that one of our, or most of our leaders, like the likes of Malcolm X, the likes of Steve Biko, this is one of the things that they were always saying and saying, if you want to destroy a society, or you want to manipulate a society, or you want to control them, go for the brain. Now, you'd remember in the old days, especially during the times of the Roman Empire, people were controlled by force. If you didn't toe the line, you'd lose your head. It was easier. But later on, as people were getting more and more civilized, 17th century, 18th century, new ways of doing things had to be discovered. Of saying, no, but this thing of hanging people and losing people losing their heads is barbaric, is unacceptable, is uncivilized. We need to find a way. And the only way was to come up with tricks such as these. And propaganda was actually one of the tools that were used. Now, why this man, Edward Bernays, came with it? Edward Bernays understood democracy, but he had a very different understanding of democracy. His argument was that the human beings, uh, in a democratic arrangement, the people there are actually stupid. They cannot think for themselves. And they can actually even hurt themselves. They can actually kill each other if they don't have this invisible government called propaganda. So it means you need to control them by spreading propaganda, but we have got to prepare, we have got to look at them. How do they think? What are their habits? What are their opinions? And then you shape those opinions using propaganda, and then you would be able to maintain some order. Okay. And one of the things he also said was that the people who are actually in a democratic dispensation, they are more comfortable by having people controlling them. That's why they would elect one or two or three people to actually rule over them. So, because they themselves, they don't trust themselves that they can actually rule themselves. So they need to be ruled by someone else. So, which was very brilliant for him because it came even handy for government at that time. I think it was, just to be specific, in the USA, one of the clear things was that there was a world war that was raging already. And there was a president called Woodrow Wilson. And he enlisted this guy, the services of Edward Bernays, to convince the Americans to go to war. Americans didn't want to go to war. But in 1917, in the middle of the war, they had to be convinced, but they didn't want to go to war. So Edward Bernays found a way, because at that time he was actually working with Woodrow Wilson in a department that was created by the president called public communication information, okay, or communication of public information, something like that. Then he then was asked by the president to say, you need to assist me to convince the Americans to go to war. So then what he then did, he had to package the war. You can imagine how dangerous this is. People don't want to go and die. But he had to sit down and package the war and they sell it because you don't just package and cheap, you package and sell it. And they sold it to the Americans to say, listen, you need to go to war. And the way to sell this thing, he had to use the mass media. The mass media at that time, it was predominantly the print media. And of course, you know, the, the power of networking or the word of mouth as well, right? And they would print uh, on the media and show the Germans, for instance, a monster with a swastika, and with long nails and claws and coming and gobbling on planet Earth and killing the Americans. And that started working on the minds and instilling fear to many Americans. And they realized that, you know what? If we don't go to war, in any case, the Germans are coming and they were finished. So that's how he managed to get them to war. Okay. So, of course, later on, he went on to venture into other things, like, for instance, selling of products, being a very important person in selling products with many big companies. And because obviously sales and propaganda, they also go together. But let me just make another example of propaganda that we saw and we're seeing today. Just not long ago, you would see that even our president, you can see politicians, how politicians operate. Politicians, they have mastered the skill. I don't know who taught them, but it would seem to me that one of the things that they master or they understand is that propaganda as a tool is very, very important. Now, propaganda, guys, can be good at times, it can be very, very bad. Like I said to you, it can lead to a death of many, many people. Now, let us look at ourselves here internally in the country, in South Africa. That's where you realize that how hypocritical the politicians can be. And they use the same thing that I'm talking about, this propaganda that I know you know about it, but I want us to go deep into it. I want us to zoom in so that we can see when these politicians open their mouths, spewing that propaganda, we must say, this is it. And now we know, you are not going to do it to us, do it to somebody else. Then in that way, we would be able to win in our agenda. Just recently, our own president was saying all sorts of things. We cannot be bullied. Now of late is saying business is not gonna dictate to us, as if business is this monster that is going around dictating to politicians. What about if business was going to say we are not going to be dictated to by politicians? We as active business and civil society, who are worried about this? How can we have a president that says business is not going to tell us what to do? It's not a question of being told what to do. It's a question of doing the right thing. If you are doing something wrong, you need to be told that you are doing something wrong. If somebody likes you, he's going to tell you when you're doing something wrong. But if somebody does not like you, he's not going to tell you if you are doing something wrong. Now he says, no, we're not going to be told by business. Unfortunately, what he does not know is that the society relies on business. Even them themselves, they survive because of business. Without a business, there is no government. I don't know why he thinks that they, as the political elite, they exist without business. I don't know. He must have lost his head now. Now, that is part of the propaganda, guys, that these guys use. They put a brave face. Business is not going to tell us. Last time he was saying, Trump is not going to tell us. We know what we're doing here as South Africans. Okay, fine. And a couple of years back, he was saying, Trump, keep your America will keep our South Africa. Now, here's Clinton still sent a delegation to America to go and talk to the White House. I mean, you say something, put a brave face in South Africa and say, you don't care, nobody can tell us. But then in the dark, then you send people to go and negotiate. It means now the man is playing double standards. Basically, he's putting a brave face, trying to convince the people that are listening to him, people who can't see that he's actually spewing propaganda. They can't see that. And then those people, of course, who are still sympathizers, supporters, and supporters, sympathizers, and members. Of course, they will be clapping hands. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, this is good. Our president is a tough guy. And then, but at night, he goes and talks to these people. So that is exactly the same thing, guys, that I'm talking about. I'm saying, you see, whilst the man is busy dividing the country here, is dividing the country along the lines that there are certain people who are business and there are certain people who are not business, according to what I've been listening to. And just recently, he has actually even divided the country further to say there are people who go and talk to America. There are people who are here who don't talk to America. There are also people who want us to go back to apartheid, and there are people who want to move away from apartheid, as if now there are different groups of people in South Africa. That to me is not leadership. If he thinks he's a leader, that's not a good leader. A good leader is a leader that unites the people in a country along the common goal of being successful as a country. Right? Now, people went to states, they come back, they don't tell us what did they get there, what deal did they get? Nothing. You know why? It's because they are not happy. If they were happy, they would have come. Because you see, this propaganda thing, it works differently. When you get all the good news, no, that one we must know. If, for instance, they came back and Trump says, yeah, guys, okay, US aid is back, for South Africa. I love South Africa. You guys are doing well. And also, let's put the tariffs aside, let us trade. I'm telling you, there would be a party tomorrow, actually the whole month, there would be a party who would know about that. The mainstream media would have reported on it. They are quiet now because there's a problem. You see. That is the propaganda we need to read into, guys. It must not miss us. We can see it even if they hide it. We know things are not good. And in fact, there is a document that I saw that I'm going to share with you. Is that I don't like talking too much about other political organizations. I would rather spend most of my time and my energy telling you how we should prepare ourselves to build this organization called Active Business and Civil Society Party, so that at least from now hence, we can grow from strength to strength and get more people who are going to actually vote, all the people that we'll be putting in the positions of responsibility. And you guys, you will be there. I am not interested in taking a position of responsibility. I want you guys to get the best people who can serve South Africa. Because I know together we can identify those people. They are around us, they are everywhere, we know them, and we can put them in the right place as long as we give them the right tools. Guys, propaganda, like I've said, it's not a bad thing. But let me make an example of a good propaganda. A good propaganda that would actually galvanize the energy of people towards a positive thing where they can actually realize their energy, realize their synergies, put together their all their efforts, and to achieve a particular goal where they are going to succeed. A propaganda where you use to raise your children. I remember, something that I actually never done, or maybe if I did it a little bit to a very a lesser extent. When you raise children to be talking about Santa Claus, talking about the Tooth Fairy, that's beautiful. There's no problem with that. Sometimes something that you can just laugh it off when you are older. But a bad propaganda is a propaganda where you are going to take people to be slaughtered in war. And they're saying you are going to keep peace when you're actually going to enforce peace. Americans know it very well. They learned it the hard way in the First World War. They were tricked into war. They went in. And of course, things worked out for them. There was a time when they went attacked Iraq on false pretense that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. They were blaming Iraq for having anthrax, Iraq for having nerve gas, Iraq for having this and this. And to our surprise, when they arrived there were no weapons of mass destruction that were found. And Americans didn't want to go there. But a propaganda had to be spread amongst the people to support the war against Iraq. The only president who is actually the president now, the only person in America who did not like, who did not want, he said, "What are you going to do there in Iraq? Leave Iraq alone." It was President Donald J. Trump. That they hate so much now, these Democrats, because they are hypocrites. They hate a person. They hate a person with his ideas. Even if that person is right, but the fact that thing comes from a particular person, they just hate it. That's how Democrats are. That's how the far left is. Far left is like that. They've got some syndrome that you don't understand. They are sick. They are sick people. And everywhere in the world, they are very sick. Far left is sick. So this is a problem. Even here, we're sitting with the same problem. We have got sick people who take sides. How do you take sides when people are fighting? How do you take sides? Because we have got to assist in solving the problem. No, the first thing you jump in, you blame one side. Yeah, this one is wrong. Yeah, these are mass murderers. I mean, you can find two brothers fighting. How do you take a side when children of the same man are fighting? You don't take a side. You go there and work out ways and means of actually trying to assist the situation. No, but our guys are not like that, because they are serving ideology instead of serving common sense. I like Donald Trump. Donald Trump tells you, actually, I call it a common sensism. That's a new ideology now, common sensism. It's just common sense. You don't have to know political science to think. You see, you just need your brain. That's all. It must just work. If it's in good condition, good working condition, then you should be able to use your brain. Right. Now, the worst thing about the propaganda is that when they want to use it against you, I'm saying these things, guys, because I'm laying down a foundation. When we start working and because we're going to discuss a lot of things, a lot of stories are going to be pushed against us. I'm telling you, a lot of stories will be pushed to the public against us. So you will be called names. You'll hear names, for instance. When these guys, they push propaganda, you'll hear things like you are a counter-revolutionary. You'll hear things like xenophobia. Even the guys who have never even knew how to write xenophobia. I remember when this the so-called xenophobia erupted, I think it was around 2008 or so. I mean, people were just fighting, just human beings. They have got that instinct, that animal instinct. Whenever there's a shortage of resources, they'll just start fighting amongst themselves. There comes a certain guy, a clown, who never even passed economics one. Now he starts saying this xenophobia cannot be tolerated. This is xenophobia. This is xenophobia. Nobody was xenophobic about anything. It's just people were fighting over scarce resources. So which shows that we are led by buffoons, guys. This is a problem. So we need to get these guys out of the way and take over and rule the country. But we can't if we don't understand the language that they are speaking. We need to master the language. You need to understand the tools that they are using. If you sit back and say, no, you don't have time to understand these tools, I'm telling you, you won't be able to get yourself out of the situation that you are in. Because these guys, they know. They spend their lives doing nothing else but working on these tools, because they know this, especially this tool called propaganda, it works very, very well for them, because they know many people don't care about chasing this dealing with this thing. People mind their careers. I have no issues with somebody minding his career, but please support our cause, support what we are doing. Make sure that you subscribe, you grow this channel. Make sure that you sign up. I'm going to put a link if you want to sign up with the active business and civil society as a member. Sign up. Let us prove that we have got members, and then so that we register with the IEC. We can go out there, contest the elections, remove these people from office, and change the entire system so that we can take this country to on a new path. You will hear guys when they use this propaganda, they will be using names such as imperialist. You are a right wing. You'll be called the right wing. You'll be called all sorts of things. So you need to expect those things. Those are the tools that they use. You will be called. Some people will be called sexist. Some people will be called what they call it. You are not progressive. You are anti anti progress. You are anti everything. Okay, so you need to expect that. Okay, so but if you understand it, it won't hurt because you know this is the language that they use to try and demonize people. Okay, now using propaganda, we have got an issue now. These guys they move from demonizing the DA. In fact, they are not finished yet. They divide the country. So the country now is divided now. They are white people. They divide the country deliberately. Remember, I said, his conscience is intelligent, right? Manipulation, right? Of the habits and opinions of the people. So now they're busy. They are busy now trying to divide the country so that they can rule it. And they work on the other people's vulnerabilities. They know that black people are very sensitive when it comes to the past. So now they are busy working on our psyche because they are touching on certain things that we don't want to remember. So every time there's a dispute or people don't agree, they first have to go and unearth what we're trying to forget, the ills of apartheid. And they say, you see now, these guys that were dealing with the so-called DA, the so-called Afro, basically they want us to go to apartheid. Can you see that? That's what they're trying to do, guys. Okay. So if you can read it like that, they're not going to win because then we won't follow. You see, what we're going to do our own thing that we think is good for all the South Africans. And we'll do it together with the white people, together with the DA, together with other peace-loving South Africans. But for as long as we are not peace-loving, we'll just ostracize you. We just push you aside and walk away from you. That's what we need to do. We need to walk away from these people. We don't owe them a cent. They don't owe us a cent. It's as simple as that. We just have to be bold enough to have our dreams, to have our South African dream. Walk away from these people. It's easy, it's not difficult. We don't have chains around our necks. Gone are the days of slavery, gone are the days of apartheid. We don't have apartheid, guys. What they are doing now, they are taking us, pitting us against the white people. And obviously, we know DA is predominantly, I would say, well, predominantly white. Of course, we know that there are a lot of black people in DA, but it is predominantly white. It's a white party. AfriForum is an NPO, which is actually their own human rights organization. It's white. There's nothing wrong. They are South Africans. These are South Africans. But let us not allow ourselves to be pitted against these people. These are people who are part and parcel of South Africa. If we can defeat these enemies of South Africa, enemies of the people, if we can defeat these guys on that platform, we have won. And you defeat these people by just ignoring their rhetorical nonsense. We don't need that. We're all South Africans here. And we just have to differ decently and listen to each other and show each other where we're wrong, accept when you're wrong, and we move on. But to be reminded of apartheid all the time, this is our problem, guys. These guys are going to sit and pillaging this country. We have nothing left because we always think that they like us or they love us because they always remind us about apartheid. Diverting attention from serious things. These guys, guys, I don't like talking about political organizations, but I'm talking about these bad people who are doing these things to us as South Africans. They messed up. You don't take sides when there's war. We know From the times of Kwame Nkrumah, we've been told that the global south is neutral. But they didn't show any neutrality now of late. The war broke out there, Russia and Ukraine. They were quick to take sides with Russia. No, Russia is our friend. They have assisted us during apartheid. They gave us weapons, trade our guerrillas, and so forth. We know that. But apartheid is gone. This is a new era. Japan and the Americans, they were enemies. Those things are gone. We move on. So now we need to look at things for what they are. You can't tell us that no, we're friends. We were friends with the PLO, and then that's why we support Hamas. We have moved on, guys. What we need to do now, we need to be assisting people who are in conflict to resolve conflicts. We should not be taking sides, taking our money and start giving money. Let me tell you something. This idea that we need to participate in global conflict. This is a big problem because South Africans do not want it. We never gave consent that we should participate in these conflicts. We don't want to be part of these conflicts. We can assist there and there, again, invited, or maybe suggest, make a suggestion. We should not be part of these conflicts. Even this conflict in DRC, why are we part of it? We're told that it's a peacekeeping. Peacekeeping. What kind of a peacekeeping is that one? To me, it's not peacekeeping. It's peace enforcement. It means you want to enforce peace. Now we are in war once you do that. And that's all. This is our money. How can we have our money spent without our consent? That is nonsense. So this is a problem. Again, we're dominated by these people called the so-called political. This is the problem. Now, guys, I want us to take a stand, a firm stand, and say, enough is enough. There is a document sitting now in the White House. In fact, it's been circulated by as one of the senators there, Senator Jackson from Texas. And like I said in the previous video, I told you guys, I said, the America is nothing against us, South Africa. No, forget it. They are busy dealing with their enemies. They know who their enemies are. And these are the people who took a stand to go against the Americans. And the war is between them. It's not between us, South Africans, and the Americans. That must be very, very clear. The propaganda that they are trying to push, that actually we're being attacked as South Africa, is not true. We need actually to reject that and say, no, keep that one for yourselves. You can actually use it when you are drinking your whiskeys. But we don't have any issues with America. We have no issues with the West. It's a problem between the ANC and the West, and they need to sort it out. Whether they will sort it out now when they are still in government or out of government, we don't know. But we must make sure that these guys are not in government. From 2026, we need to remove them from the local elections, and they come the next national elections, next national government elections. They must not be there. We must relegate these guys to museums. That's where they belong. All right. Now, guys, it pains me when I hear people comparing our umkhonto wesizwe that we know, our brothers and sisters who left the country when they were very young. Most of them left at a very tender age. Some of them were 16. And to be compared to Hamas, no. I disagree. I say no. MK never targeted civilians, not even once. Of course, there would be now and again be a collateral damage there and there when they were bombing the apartheid regime assets in the country. You know, now and again you would lose some lives, but it was never the leadership of MK to target civilians. No, they've never done that. So to compare, because I heard some people saying no, but also MK, was a liberation movement. Therefore, you can equate it to Hamas. Please, guys, MK has never killed ordinary people. It never attacked, put them as their target, as their primary target. Never. Even during difficult times. That is actually why APLA had issues with us as the young people there. We didn't support it because we didn't support the idea of killing civilians, white people. We didn't support that. That is why APLA never enjoyed our support. It just had to disappear because we didn't want that. Our leadership, the Oliver Tambos, were very clear that, guys, we are against the system of government. We are not against the white people in South Africa. We need to dismantle apartheid. That was very clear. And the apartheid is gone now. And now it would seem to me, now the mission now is back against the white people. So it means now we've got to start now. Now that apartheid is gone, now we must start fighting the white people. Why? Why are we doing that? Are they not part of us? Are you going to start fighting a child because that child was not was born out of rape just to traumatize it? If you had maybe your daughter was raped or the child came the wrong way, I'm just trying to you know to paint a picture here of a situation that came in an abnormal way. Of course, the white people managed to make a lot of money for themselves the wrong way, but they have it now. So what are we going to do now? Are we going to take it from them instead of creating something that they create a level the playing field so that at least all of us will go up as a nation and we love each other, we're united? We need rich people. We must produce a lot of rich black people, but not by stealing, by just doing the right thing. It can be done. There are many countries who have done it. It's only us here who are busy with this nonsense, hating white people. No, the imbalances of the past. Hey, let me tell you something. I went to university during apartheid. I know there are many people. I didn't have money. At home, there was no money. Both my parents, they were earning not more than 700 rands, both of them, their salaries combined. But I went to university. I studied medicine. I'm not saying those people who are not lucky enough to be like me to can stomach the troubles and eat once a day and be able to read and uh, do mathematics and physics. I'm not saying those people who were not lucky to be like me are bad. No, but I'm just saying to you, some of us went to university during apartheid, and apartheid did not stop me from achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. So this idea of retarding people and saying, no, keep reminding them that, no, you see, the problem is why we are not succeeding now is because of apartheid. We must walk away from that thing. That thing is keeping black people down. You see, it's keeping us down, guys. We need to move on and move on very, very fast because now we've got the level play fields. The question I would ask, what is it that a white man is doing that makes you not to grow? If you are a black man and you are blaming a white man, tell me. Is it the money that they have that makes you not to grow? Just because somebody has got money, are they oppressing you now because they have got money? So is Patrice Mtsipe with his money oppressing somebody not to grow? I don't understand it. If somebody is looking for a piece of ground and you want to mine, the, go to geosciences in Silverton. In fact, I'm going to do a program next time where I'm showing people how to access these opportunities. Because I can tell you, these politicians are not telling the people how to apply for a mining license. They are just talking. No, we want the land. No, there are many places that you can mine today. I tried mining, I failed myself. I can't blame anybody. I tried diamond mining, I failed. Okay. So, but I'm just, trying to show you guys that these guys are not genuine. We have got to be very careful. Anyway, at some point, I'm going to do a video where I'm showing people, because I've got a lot of experience in this thing. So I'm going to share information, how to access land if you want to mine, how to analyze the ground, and how to apply for it. There's a lot of land. And the government is not, the problem with the government is that they're going to delay you on issuing the permit. It's a delay, you won't get it until they give it to their friend who is in power. That is the problem. That is why now they want the land from the white people. They want it for themselves. The guys who are in power right now. Right. So for us as active business and civil society party, I've said it and I've mentioned it many times, guys, that we sympathize with everyone. We sympathize with the people of Russia. We sympathize people of Ukraine. We sympathize with the Palestinians. I don't sympathize personally with Hamas. I sympathize with the people of Palestine. I understand they are going through hell. The children, the women, there is difficult. People of Israel, they went through hell. Young people, beautiful girls were slaughtered there unnecessarily. You know, I sympathize with those people. And if we have to do something, we've got to do something to everyone. We've got to assist people in their miseries and not take sides. This thing of taking sides to me is actually not good. Now, the problem that we have now is almost we have reached a point where we can no longer distinguish between wrong and right. We just say no. If it has been done by so and so, we don't even want to call it right or wrong. It's just one way. We have reached a point where we cannot think in any way different whenever we see things. Things that are wrong are wrong. We cannot say they are correct. So now, guys, I just want to close by just saying something that I think all of us uh, we need to really take seriously. The propaganda that is being spread, that we're bombarded with about all the things that are happening, Russia, Ukraine, things that are happening in Middle East. We need to share a lot of information about these things because there's quite a lot of things that are not true. And what we need to do, we need to share as much information as possible so that whatever we say, it must be informed by literature. It must be informed by a lot of research. It must not be informed by our emotions or by listening to what ANC is saying to us. There's a lot. 70% of what ANC is saying about the conflict in Middle East is not correct. And I can prove that it's not correct. But what they have done, they have managed to pump so much propaganda that we believed even things that are not true. In fact, the whole world is infected by this virus. This virus has killed billions of people, is still gonna kill billions of people, and many people to come are still gonna die out of this virus called the propaganda. It's very, very dangerous, guys. So the more we educate ourselves about these things, the better, the more immune we'll be to this virus. It's a very dangerous virus. I want to close by saying, guys, the idea of us now being manipulated by ANC to hating white people, how far are we going to go with this? How far does ANC want us to go with this? Is ANC now saying we need to start now having a problem with white people and their organizations? Now they have been telling us that they hate it, that these people, they go and talk to Americans, they talk to other people. Are they saying that now we must start hating our white people in South Africa? And I'm saying no, we should not allow ANC to push us that far. How far is this thing supposed to go? We must actually be prepared now to be called names. If somebody is calling us counter revolutionary, there was no revolution in anywhere. I don't know why they always like using this counter revolutionary. So we must be prepared. If somebody says you are a right wing, even if I don't even know why someone should worry if I'm a right wing. If you say I'm a right wing, and so what? Is it wrong to have a right hand, the other one to have a left hand? There's nothing wrong. If you think I'm a right wing, thank you. But the main thing, I would be this right wing that is saying the right thing. Maybe that right wing will be good. Then you'll say this is the one who says the right thing, And then at least we can be able to come together and say, no, we differ here and here. But the idea of us hating white people or having a problem with white people in South Africa, it must stop. And it must start stopping with us, guys. It must just stop. It's us who can stop this thing. I'm telling you, it's us black people who can stop this thing. Let us not allow our black leaders, because it's our black leaders that are sitting on our brains like a virus. They are always trying to look for everything that is painful that we once experienced before and try and unearth it. Every time we're trying to be happy with these white people trying to socialize, and then we study together, we do things together, we're doing business. They come and say, these people you see. I mean, this PE thing that they are doing, it has never benefited any person who is poor. It never benefited anybody. This thing has benefited the politicians, their friends, their concubines, their sisters, their brothers, everybody, their sympathizers, political sympathizers, members, and so on. It didn't benefit anybody. Go to the township, ask the people. PE has not benefited anybody. Now they want to go and grab the land. The land is not going to go to the poor people. It's going to go to them again. How much do they want? How many years must they keep on grabbing? They've got, I mean, these guys are billionaires. How much money do they want? I don't understand. You see. So, guys, I just want to thank you again for watching this video. The takeaway here is that I just want us to be vigilant, guys. I'm very passionate about this propaganda thing, because I can see that it is one thing that can divide families, it can divide friends, it divides communities in the townships, in rural areas, it divides people in a country, it divides people in the world. Look at the world now. The world is burning. It's just propaganda that is burning the world like this. So I want us to be so good in understanding and being able to identify propaganda. See it when it comes and say, there it is, with all its characteristics. And they say, no, we don't want it. If we can master that one, these guys, they are nothing. And we just continue working together as South Africans, working together with people from other countries. Why business is important? There is no society that can exist without business. Government gets money from business. Government is also running businesses. Is that they give them a nice name? They say they are state-owned companies. Those are businesses. There's no government without business. People, they use their hands. They sell their hands. They sell their labor to generate value. So we need to come together as the civil society and business and start rolling up our sleeves. Stop complaining about the past. The past is gone. And we need to look now and at the future and go straight where we want to go to, without anybody telling us how to get there and when to go there. What tools do we need to go there? We know what we need. So let us just do one thing, guys, for ourselves. And I will be putting a link, because our website is finished now. That is where you can go in and register. And then there will also be an account for those who want to donate. You can donate to the party. And then you can also, please, guys, if you subscribe, that's a big, big boost. Because if you subscribe, we are boosting the numbers. YouTube partnership program, they assist us by paying paying us for being a partner, and then that money will assist us a lot to start assisting our entrepreneurs in the townships. Remember, active business and civil society is not a t-shirt and caps party. It's a party that is working with the people, especially young people in the townships. We want them to start their businesses. We want a good quality members, not people who are waiting for tenders to come from government. We want people who are productive, who are producing, people who are innovative. Young people must start developing robots. They must start, getting into manufacturing again. We want to reindustrialize the country. We want to shrink the government. I will be talking quite a lot about what active business is all about. But today, the message, guys, was just one. I just wanted to talk about propaganda, and I say, let us be vigilant. And you'll see all the videos that I'm going to do now. My emphasis will always be watch the propaganda. I'll always pick it up when it comes, present it to you and show you. I say, this is propaganda. And all what I'm going to say, or that I will be saying, will always be backed up by research that even yourselves, guys, you can go and fact check and then see that I'm not talking bull. And thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to leave on the information box on the video down below. I'm going to leave the link to the website. You click the link. Our website is very simple. We made it simple. We don't want you to be looking at many pages. On the landing page, You go straight, and then you click the link, and then you open the web. I'm sorry, you click the link on the information box. You go to the website, and then you fill up the information, and then we're gonna respond. We're gonna send you the welcome message and everything, and tell you how we're gonna move forward from there. Thank you very much. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the video, like the video, and please click the join button. I think very soon it will be ready because we have submitted everything now to YouTube partnership program. And the guys, I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you very much for making our channel a success. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.